So we're looking at the X550S. They don't have any white options, so this is black, but some RGB that we can configure on there. So the whiteout is going to be, I guess, a little harder than I thought, and it looks like we're going team red, just because Micro Center doesn't have a lot of selection for DDR4 boards with the i9. They only have DDR5, and the price to performance just isn't there. So this is what we're looking at right now. We're looking at a Ryzen AMD chipset, and we'll check those out here in just a second. So we're going with the AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. Candace, do you want to get a close-up on it real quick? As opposed to the i9 because of the DDR5 issue. So that's what we're going with. We've got our motherboard right here as well. We just talked about. We've got stremmer cables from the Lee & Lee. So we have for the, one to the graphics card, one's to the CPU. We've got some Lee & Lee daisy chain fans, and we're actually going to change out this IQ to a black NZXT just due to them not having 50. They actually found an open box, the NZXT USB header, which I was terrified to do. The 888 pin, a stremmer. They didn't have it in white, so we got the black ZX3. 2 Lee & Lee daisy chain fans. 1000-watt power supply, platinum rated. Windows 10 because I was too lazy to do it at home. Trident Z, I think class latency is 16. We got a 3090, believe it or not. Thank God they had those in there. 2 NVMe, 2 terabytes, and then last but not least, the Ryzen 9 5950X. It's gonna hurt my wallet. Here you go.
5030 basic merit.
Alright, we are finally home. It's actually the next day after the video has been shot. We've had some issues, and I'll walk you through what the issues were that we had in the finished project. So the NZXT cooler right there was not actually clamped all the way down, which meant that it was not cooling the CPU, so it was idling at about 80 degrees Celsius, which is horrible. Okay. The second thing is that the Lee & Lee fans right here, they're all daisy chained together. I had to reinstall the software and get the software to, basically play nice. And then that's how I got it to be all white. Okay? The next thing are these stremmer cables right here. They are white. I had to go in the back of the machine, back here, and I actually had to change the function on them to be said color. The 3090 is overkill and it works perfectly, but those were some of the issues that we had. But under benchmarks, and I did have the last thing actually is this little guy right there. As you can see, is ran a little differently. It runs down and then runs through this way. The reason that is because there wasn't enough clearance to mount all 3 of the radiator fans. So I had to get the radiator fan, I had to get a saw, I had to cut off one of these corners right over here and then put it in, and it's actually held up by 3 screws instead of 4 because obviously I had to cut it off. We changed the NZXT thing to white, and I think it looks pretty clean. But this is the finished build. We've got an AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. We've got a RTX 3090, 32 gigs of RAM, class latency 16, and a 32 gigabyte kit. We can always add more if we want to. 3600 megahertz. So, you know, more than enough to get the job done.